Coming up right now on SUTV News, SHIP students made a visit to Harrisburg this week.
Find out what happened there and the response here on campus.
SUTV News starts right now.
Hello and thanks for joining us here on SUTV News. I'm Rachel Flores.
And I'm Kyle Rogers.
Nearly 1,000 college students skipped class on Monday to rally in Harrisburg. Brandon Bubba Smith has more on the day-long protest to save Pennsylvania's future.
The sounds of a unified student protest echoed through the Capitol streets Monday. Demonstrators from all over the Paschy school system gathered for one cause: to prevent budget cuts to higher education.
The importance of this rally for students is that they get their voices heard to get the funding back into the Paschy system.
Protesters arrived by bus and by car, but a group of runners from Millersville and Lock Haven ascended the Capitol steps after a 100-mile relay.
We're not going to take these cuts lying down. We want to stand up for our rights as students to have a fair, quality education. We don't want to see that quality go down the drain. So that really was the importance of this run for us.
You know, there's something twisted.
State representatives and senators spoke at the rally, but it was the students who made the event possible.
And the fact is, this rally was organized by students, right? So you can't say it's the professors doing the job. I mean, this is a student rally. We just came along for the ride to support you guys as students.
Students like SHIP's own Jimmy Thren.
Probably 10 to 20 people were really the thinking heads of all of this, and we really did a great job.
Jimmy watched as lawmakers had no choice but to hear from students.
I was very surprised by actually how many students came, how excited and loud they were. They all wanted to speak their piece, and it really showed today.
Though today's rally was a giant step in the right direction, students do have a responsibility to keep up with their congressman.
Students need to continue to send emails. What's really helpful and has a big impact is that they visit their district offices.
This will continue. We'll have another protest if necessary. We'll keep coming down here. Can't stop until the voices are heard.
Voice that may mean the difference in funding the future of Pennsylvania. In Harrisburg, Brandon Smith, SUTV News.
Lawmakers say the budget should be allocated by June of this year. Students plan to protest until the bill is finalized. After the rally, protesters gathered inside to see the appropriations hearing. So many people crowded into the hearing that many people had to watch outside through a closed-circuit television monitor. State lawmakers spent hours talking and asking questions to Paschy Chancellor John Kavanaugh. Lawmakers asked how much tuition would increase should the budget pass. Kavanaugh said that the state's college students should see a rise in their tuition bill. Meanwhile, Kavanaugh answered questions about graduation rates and efforts state universities have made to promote diversity.
The biggest fear among many students we talked to is the rise in tuition that could happen if Governor Corbett's budget passes. SUTV News and The Slate had an exclusive press conference with President Rood earlier today. He answered our questions and addressed several concerns that students have.
Good morning. For your time today. I'm Kyle Rogers from SUTV News, and I just want to talk to you. You know, if this budget goes as is, what changes will we see in tuition?
Oh, the changes potentially, Kyle, could be dramatic. A 50% tuition reduction, if it holds, could mean as high as a 33% tuition increase. So an appropriation reduction of 50% for us is about $16 million. Put it into rough numbers, our plans are looking at a 15% budget reduction. If that holds and nothing else happens, the compensating tuition increase is 33%, which is roughly $2,000.
For the full SUTV News Slate interview with President Rood, check out our website at facebook.com/SUTV News.
Coming up on SUTV News, get an inside look from the bus trip to Harrisburg and find out how Facebook is making an impact in politics. It's all coming up next.
Students arrived at the rally on Monday in buses provided by AppScuff, and SUTV was there to get inside the minds of a couple of those students. Luke Martin reports.
SHIP students gathered at the rec center Monday morning to board buses for the rally in Harrisburg. Students who felt a need to be heard. I got to speak to one of these students, Josh Neal, who, like many students, felt a personal connection to the protests.
You know, like most college students, really broke and can't really afford the upswing in tuition that it's going to result in if the budget gets passed. So, yeah, I don't want it to get passed.
So after some pre-rally instructions and a quick bite to eat, we made our way to the protests, where Josh was not only vocal with cheers and chants, but jokes as well.
I think Corbett should come out here and face us. He seems kind of cowardly in that big brick building. Just me.
I also met up with SHIP sophomore Clay Sale, who, like Josh, was hopeful the rally would do some good, but had his doubts about it too.
Like I said, this is the first step, obviously, but there's got to be a way to have our voices heard more direct, because, right now, I doubt Corbett is really concerned with this. There's got to be a way to make it more personal and get him out here somehow.
The rally did seem to students to be making an impact on at least some people in Harrisburg.
You should really see some of the faces of the guys coming out of this building. They're like, people everywhere, angry 20-somethings. Oh no.
Though he felt it went well, Josh did have one big complaint about the rally.
Make it longer. Gosh, we were there for what, 2 hours? And then, 15 minutes of being at the doors yelling and then getting told by the cops to be quiet, and then everyone kind of chickens out. I think it's a right step in the next direction, but it just needs to keep perpetuating itself. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen.
For SUTV News, I'm Luke Martin.
Thanks, Luke. The end of March means madness is almost over, but that doesn't mean there aren't games left to watch. This weekend, Shippensburg Area Senior High School is hosting an alumni basketball game for a good cause. Proceeds from the game will benefit the Drew Michael Taylor Foundation, a charity that helps provide money to organizations geared towards children. The game starts at 3 on Saturday, and all you need to get in is a donation to the foundation. Social networking sites aren't just for making and keeping up with friends, they're also outlets for opinions. Some of those opinions have started political activism, from as close to home as campus to as far away as Japan. SUTV's Rachel Snowdy reports.
It played out just like an old-fashioned rally. State University College students descended upon the state capitol to let the governor know what they think of his education budget cuts. But the origins of this classic act of civil participation are far from traditional. They started here, on Facebook, by Shippensburg sophomore Jimmy Thren.
We had to use every resource possible. Facebook, newspapers, spread of the mouth, everything we could use.
And Jimmy's call was answered.
It's been very, very grassroots, very loosely organized, but when legislators found out we were having this many people here, they were asking Jimmy to come speak, and you can see that we've had a good representation from.
This trend in using social networking as a start for political protest resonates with students.
Jimmy had chatted me and told me about the cuts and about how he wanted to do this rally, and he asked me if I was in, if I wanted to support him, and I told him I definitely did.
Social networking has rapidly shifted the center of power across the world, like the revolution in Egypt begun by its young people. Shippensburg professor Carl Lorenz studied there last year.
And through Facebook, the social network, they were able to find supporters that they couldn't really find on the streets. They were not allowed to assemble in large gatherings. I was there in Egypt. It was just a handful of people protesting in front of some government building, and the government allowed them to protest, but it never got very large and it never got very significant, and the people's demands would never be met.
These online groups gather out of reach of government control to regather and force for making positive change around the world. And these students have their way right here in Pennsylvania. In Harrisburg, Rachel Snowdy, SUTV News.
Thren continues to encourage engagement through Facebook. The group is planning another rally on the Capitol for April.
Crazy how Facebook can do all of that.
It is crazy, but it's great to see that students are getting involved.
Exactly. Well, hey, don't go away. Still to come on SUTV News, this special organization turns 50. Find out which one.
And there's still time to get a ticket
for an APP-sponsored bus trip this weekend.
But first, the Slate's Alex Bob gives a preview for next week. Let's take a look.
I'm Alex Bob, the PR director with the Slate here at Shippensburg University. This week in the Slate, we have an article in the opinion section about feminism. Janelle from Teen Mom gets into a fight, a mother who's giving her 8-year-old daughter Botox. Slate Sports has an article about softball is nationally ranked for the first time since 2007. In the slate this week in the AE section, Jenna Bush comes to Ship Saturday night at 8 p.m. African Fair at the Shipwreck Center. Be sure to come to our interest meetings on Sundays at 5 p.m. to get involved with the slate.
Though spring has officially sprung, we haven't really been feeling any warm temperatures.
We haven't. I'm thinking about filing a complaint with Puxatawny Phil, and I blame Barbara Shindo for that writing. That was so cheesy. Here's Casey Peel with your weekend weather forecast. Hey, Case.